This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are talking about the crazy 4-overtime game between the Denver Nuggets and Portland Trailblazers in Game 3 of their Western Conference semifinals matchup. An insane game, the only second playoff game to ever go to 2 OTs. Then we'll be talking about our lottery predictions. You might have saw last week we had our live mock draft. That was extremely fun. If you have not seen it, it was a blast. Definitely go see who our picks were before you watch that, because we'll probably talk about what happened last week just to give a little bit of a baseline, just to give a little bit of a setting. Then we'll be talking about best fits in Chicago for the Bulls in the draft. Just in order, it's the next team we haven't done. It's not because Ricky's dying to talk about the Bulls. He usually is, but
secretly am.
But we're going to talk about the Bulls and their best fit. We'll also be talking a little bit about Jim Boylan's extension in there as well, because that's big news for the Bulls and obviously going to play into their future. And finally, we'll talk more about coaching news. And Tyronn Lue is most likely going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and we will talk on why that is a good or bad decision for the Lakers. We're not sure what it will be. I know I have my own opinion, but I don't know your guys' yet, and we'll save it for the end of the podcast. But before we jump into all of that, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. If you want to help us out, if you want to help support us, if you want to help us get our own studio so we're not sharing this with anybody, we can make sets, we can make very nice, elegant pieces that stand the test of time that we don't have to take down, we can leave up and have a more professional look. That's where you can help us out. Go to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. It would be much better than looking at the history of the evolution of radio, of the radio.
Which is funny, because on the only podcast that does not have this frame up is the Rick and Johnny podcast. Mm-hmm. It's because Johnny says, screw that. I'm putting up a Dixon. What is it? First name? Daryl Dixon from Walking Dead.
Gotcha. But yeah, we're going to, if you want to help us out, go over there. You can become a bronze patron, you can become a silver patron, or you can become a gold patron as well. So go over and check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But let's jump in, guys, to the Wet Boys segment. This is where we talk about the dampest of dudes, the soggiest of shooters, the moistest of men. These are our Wet Boys. These are the guys that absolutely popped off in the past week, had crazy stat lines, insane games, historical performances, just games that really made us say, wow, these guys absolutely went off in the past week. And this is the segment where we give them love. Ricky, give us your Wet Boy.
Well, mine's easy. I thought about this we were actually recording during the game, but Kawhi Leonard, he had his game one and the Raptors win that first game, and I'm thinking if he has a phenomenal rest of the 2 games before next week, he's going to get my Wet Boy. Like, I was pre-calling it in my head. And although the Raptors lost, Kawhi Leonard was Kawhi Leonard and the best player on the Raptors, even though they lost 2 and 3. And I look at this team, I look at Kawhi, and I was like, I got to give him a Wet Boy because I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry that he's got to have the inconsistent Kyle Lowry next to him, because Kyle Lowry looked good for a game or two, but has looked terrible in games, especially the last one that they played against the 76ers, to where this series is a love and hate with me, because I kind of want the 76ers to lose, but I wouldn't be mad if the Raptors lost as well in this series, to where I want to pose this question to you guys. What is your percentage, just quick percentage, of Kawhi leaving if the Raptors lose to the 76ers?
70.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably around it. I've always said that I only think he stays if they make the finals. Mm-hmm. And even then, I think you might need to win the finals, because I think he's going to look not only at the location, and I think he probably likes Toronto. I don't think he's had a reason to dislike Toronto, at least. But then you also have to look at the long-term prospects, and they're still going to be paying Kyle Lowry. You can't move that contract.
And no one wants that contract.
No one wants that contract. So I would probably put it at 72. I think he's leaving. I just don't know where he's leaving to. People want to say the Clippers, and I'm kind of sick of it. Everyone's saying
don't like LA, don't like the Clippers.
No, but everyone's saying it, so it's probably just not going to happen.
Everybody said LeBron is going to LA Lakers, Sean. And then what happened?
We willed it into existence.
You lost the bet.
Yeah, I did lose the bet, but I'm not betting the Kawhi to the Clippers thing. I don't know. I just feel like we decided that last year, and I don't think that's. I just don't see it happening for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Paul George situation, you know?
Yeah,
We could get a fucking wild card thing happening.
I think he's
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn would be fun. I would love to see him in Brooklyn. I don't know. I just feel like the Clippers isn't the place. I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah,
I could be
just
totally
think
wrong.
If they lose to the 76ers, I would go as high as 90% that he's gone.
Yikes.
I mean, conference finals, then I'm simmering down to that 60-70 range. But, like, if you get bounced in the second round, like, and based off of how the last two games have been, I know, Sean, before we hit the record button, you made a great point. The series is still going on. Anything can happen. But if they lose, I think he's Audi 5,000 from Toronto.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people know that the series is still going on. This isn't like, Boston and Milwaukee where Milwaukee was done after game one and Paul Pierce is like, it's over right now. Well, Milwaukee just won 2 straight. Now, now they have home court advantage again. Like, quit being ridiculous.
Suspect in that second game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and reffing has been a problem throughout the playoffs. Throughout the playoffs. Outside of that Portland Denver game,
honestly.
they did a great job in that. Maybe a couple calls that should have went
but
against
for the most part, they swallowed
Jokic,
the whistles a lot early in the game, which was really nice.
And obviously, I think you mentioned at least the Harden stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously that's been a thing, but I think overall it hasn't been too egregious. I think the biggest ones have just been Game 1 in the Warriors Rocket game, at least in the semifinals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. Like that's why I don't think like KD to the Knicks is going to happen, and Kawhi to the Clippers is going to happen, just because like
Kyrie to the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean like they seem too obvious in ways. Like that's the only place people are talking about them going.
I just feel like
I don't think it's gonna
Kawhi's a
happen.
fucking enigma. Like you don't know if he wants money. You don't know, if he likes where he lives or not. You just don't know the answer. Like
Because he doesn't openly talk.
Well, that's the thing. You even heard Pop be like, "Yeah, I coached him for X amount of years. I don't know him." Like he doesn't understand what makes him tick still after that time. So it's hard to make a prediction based off of the superficial things we're tossing out there,
Kawhi's such a weird dude that his favorite place could just be Memphis. Like, and I'm not saying Memphis is a bad
Shout out
place.
to Nick.
I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know anyone whose favorite place is
Dave
Memphis.
has now become the champion of Memphis.
I'm going full circle. We're back to off season, so I can like him.
Congrats. I just don't know who's like. I've never met anybody who's like my favorite city's Memphis, and maybe some Memphis,
like barbecue a lot.
Memphis Memphiantonians
In high school.
With Memphans. What's the people?
Memphisians?
I
think that would be closer.
I think if people from Memphis, that might be their favorite city, but I don't know a lot of people from Memphis. But I'm just saying, like, people
or
that I know.
Memphisionians?
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Memphisionians.
Memphisionians or Memphisians?
But my point is I don't know anybody whose like favorite city is Memphis, but I could see Kawhi's favorite city
being Memphis
because he just seems like that type of dude. I don't know where he's gonna end up going, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. If they win the finals, I think Memphians.
According to Answers.com, which I totally trust.
It sounds better than what I was saying.
Yeah. I was trying to say the same thing though. The Memphisionians. I think we had the same thought process there.
Sounds a lot better than that.
But Ricky, we're gonna move away from you in the Memphisionians, and we're gonna move to Dave. Dave, give us your wet boy.
My wet boy is Jimmy. He got to ring the bell. I mean, he has been the heart and soul of the fucking Sixers this series. He has been excellent. I know Game 1 was a little disappointing, but good Lord, Game 2, he put that team on. He was told he had to do it, and then he did put the team on his back. Played amazing across the stretch, willing that ball. I mean, it was just around the court. He was everywhere. He did everything for them. It was awesome. And then Game 3, you get a healthy Embiid. He's not like 100%.
No more
but,
gas.
He's not shitting himself on the court, which was what he alluded to. Which, by the way, those post games are fantastic.
Especially with Jimmy and Joe.
Jimmy and Joe are just pure love.
The one where he made the joke about the Warriors, and Jimmy's like, I'm done.
3-1, he's like, I'm leaving.
Done.
I love it. So, no, Jimmy Butler has been awesome. He has been like the X factor for this team, which is what we all wanted. And I know, Sean, the discussion we've always had around Jimmy Butler, it's been like, can he be your number one? And it looks like, at times he could be, but at the same time, he almost is better as your second best player or your third best player because he has such a full skill set. He's got all the tools for an NBA star.
I mean, look at the Bulls. I would say better Jimmy was when Derrick Rose was the star, and he could be number 2.
And the thing, too, is your number 2 can be your number 1 at nights.
And he's closing games for them. So.
Yeah. And Joe even said, like, he's going to go to Jimmy at the close of games. Like, he trusts Jimmy more than he trusts himself. which
the
is
man
something
is
that's
cold.
Yeah, which is something that's crazy. But I think, like, we saw it with CJ McCollum last night. Like, number ones can, or number twos can close out a game. That's not something that is crazy to see. So I look at that, and I think Jimmy and Joe are a very nice pairing. And maybe that's not the. I mean, it's most likely going to be the future. I think the Sixers are going to re-sign Jimmy.
I mean, after these couple performances, it'd be shocking if he didn't re-sign. For max there.
Well, it's just does he want to stay there? Which I mean, so far
Iverson told him while he was in Chicago. Still, he's like, Philadelphia, man. They would love you.
I could see him leaving, but I'm not going to say as bold as I did against Kawhi.
I don't really think he's leaving. No, I would if I had put that. I'd put like a 10% or like 5%. Like even it's pretty low.
The amount he's smiling, laughing, having fun, like. You saw none of those things in Minnesota. Literally the opposite. He's also not playing, 50 minutes in a 48-minute game.
Yeah.
So I love him, and also I have to give a shout out to James Ennis. He is my runner-up. He pure energy guy out there, knocking down shots really well for them. He was huge to swing momentum early in games, so giving him some credit. I know we're staying in the East here. Sean, what do you got, though?
Well, I was going to use a different segue from you, and you brought up the fact that Jimmy Butler's not playing 45 minutes a night.
Dave's like, great, I set you up for that one. And basically it's like, Dave, get in your lane.
Yeah,
fair enough.
43 to 45 minutes a night. Jimmy Butler's not playing that. But Nikola Jokic last night played 65 fucking minutes in that 4 OT
he played
game.
65 minutes.
Did they win?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
He still played 65 minutes. It's the second most third most in NBA history behind 69 and 68 in a 5 OT game. Like he was still phenomenal. I mean, he had 14 assists and 8 turnovers. And I think one thing I'll throw out there right away. People are going to say that he's a dirty player. Yes, the play that he had against Cantor, where it was they're standing on the hash marks waiting for the free throw to go up. He did shoulder check the shit out of Cantor. That I think it was a separated shoulder. That is a dirty play. That is too aggressive. That is just something that should not be allowed in the NBA. Should have been a foul. I am a Jokic fan. I will say that's some bullshit right there. Cool. However, I don't think he's a dirty player.
I think he made a dirty play, but that doesn't make him a dirty player. There's not a trend of this.
Well, and some people are like, oh, he's a flopper. Like, I do not see him being a flopper. Like, maybe he exaggerates some calls, which I think is fair. Every NBA player does that.
And especially early in his career. Like, he's got to get the respect from the refs for being the star that he is.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you look at, like, it's not like Harden level. Like, I mean, it's not egregious to a point. Like, yes, he exaggerates some calls, but I mean, most NBA players do that to get the calls. So I don't think he's really a dirty player. And, he made a dirty play. And if he continues to do this, I think obviously you got to knock that shit off. But I think also in his mindset is he's gassed like crazy. So maybe if I take out the guy who's super physical and going to make me run and Enes Kanter, then maybe I can get a break. Because Mike Malone's not giving me one. But that game last night was absolutely insane.
Or is he just so frustrated because it's like, guys, I am showing up. Like, why can't we show up consistently? Because really it's like Jokic and then, okay, which Nugget's going to show up today?
I mean, they've had pretty good efforts across the board. It's just it was a lot of turnovers last night, and that was just sloppy play. And as the game got longer, it got sloppier. And it was like, I understand you guys are fucking gassed out there. 4 OTs is insane.
I mean, looking at those two teams, too, and the fact that they only put up 140 and 137 in 8 quarters is just kind of concerning.
Yeah, it's like, because the next game, they could do that in regular time.
So, I mean, like, that's something that's just like these two offensive powerhouses, like, you guys probably should have been putting up more points. It just showed how tough that game was with how gassed they were. So, absolutely insane. CJ McCollum deserves a shout-out, too. But, yeah, Nikola Jokic, I mean, since February or April 27th, which I think was game 1 of their series, he's been a monster. 27 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists, 47 from the field, 41 from 3. He's been a monster. So Jokic is just showing up in the playoffs, and I think there is a live debate between him and Joe. And it's been going on through what?
Jake, get a load of this piece of shit over here.
Fuck you. I'm a piece of shit because I'm saying my opinion that I've had for like the whole year.
I'd take Joe over the Joker.
Joe's got it from both sides. Honestly, Jokic has impressed me defensively. He's getting better, but he's not anywhere near the level of dominance that Embiid displays out there. I mean, that is.
He's the only player to ever be putting up near averages of a triple-double in a game.
Are we acting like a triple-double's good now because it's done by Jokic?
Now you're flipping it because it fits your fucking motto.
Just because it's Jokic doing it now.
The narrative is what you're looking for.
Yeah, narrative. The reason why it matters is because they're actually winning games. Sorry, Russell Westbrook, you trash ass. Come on.
Never going to win a title.
Sorry, the Red Sea's parting for Russell Westbrook to grab 5 boards a night. The rebounding guru, he's the third best rebounder in the NBA.
He's a pretty good rebounder. Pretty good.
Get the hell out of here. It matters because they actually win games. And yes, they didn't win the game last night, but still 140 to 137.
Jokic had a chance to, though.
Jokic playing 65 minutes. The fact that he missed those free throws, not that pissed off at it.
That man was gassed beyond gas. Could you imagine him with his conditioning from last year trying to be out there that long?
I'm surprised that this year he lasted. I mean, I'm surprised he just didn't pass out last night playing that much.
And he also had that 3 at the end of, what was that, overtime 2? Where he took that long 3, and it's just like, it missed. You could just see everyone in the court just go,
crazy game, though. 4 OTs, and shout out Rodney Hood as well. He's been very, very good in Portland, and it's been good to see. Because he's still super young. He's
great
only
mid-season
26, I think. So Rodney Hood could always turn it around. And he's like,
he was the anti-playoff person last year, though.
But 6'7" as a 2, insane.
Yeah.
He's always been a guy with a ton of potential, so it's good to see that's kind of panning out there. But let us know your Wet Boys down in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Jokic is better than Embiid, and that's all I have to say.